Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste and good morning and welcome back. So, the last two sessions on our session on this retreat on non-dual meditation based on the Vivekachudamani. We will start this session with a meditation, and you'll see the relevance of it when we get to the next verse. So first the meditation. Yes. No, the chant will be afterwards. So the chant will come after the meditation. So for this meditation, it will be good if you have your hands free, like your laps free. If you are having coffee, you can have coffee, finish it. But don't meditate with the coffee cup in your hand. So the meditation has three parts. Part 1 is a relaxation exercise, loosely based on the Yoga Nidra. Part 2 is the non-dual meditation. Part 3 is carrying this meditation into life. After all, the ultimate purpose of meditation, of a meditative state, is to erase the difference between the meditation and life. Erase the boundary between practice and life. What we experience in non-dual meditation, because it's non-dual, there is nothing else other than it. Even when we open our eyes and go about our life, it should be the same. So that will be the third part. All right. For this meditation, when you are ready, you can just relax and sit straight in your chair. Put your hands on your lap or on your thighs, whatever is comfortable. Whatever position of the body is comfortable. You can adjust it afterwards, but the aim will be not to move at all. Don't be stiff or rigid. You feel the need to cough or sneeze, do that. Don't struggle. But try not to move at all. Relaxed, breathing normally. I will name different parts of the body, and as I name the part of the body, we will direct our attention to that part just in a general way. You don't have to work hard to visualize it or feel it. Just attention to that part and feel that it is relaxed. I will name the part of the body. We will attend to it and feel that it is relaxed. Breathing normally. Left foot, big toe, relax. Left foot, first toe, second, third, little toe, relax. Bottom of the left foot, relax. Left ankle, relax. Left leg from the ankle to the knee, relax. Left knee, relax. Left thigh, relax. Left hip, relax. Right foot, big toe, relax. First toe, second, third, little toe, relax. Bottom of the right foot, relax. right ankle, relax. Right leg from ankle to knee, relax. Right knee, relax. Right thigh, relax. Right hip, relax. Whole left leg, relax. Whole right leg, relax. Breathing normally. Waist, relax. Tummy, relax. Chest, relax. Lower back, relax. Upper back, relax. Left arm in the left hand, thumb, relax. First finger, second, third, little finger, relax. Left palm, relax. Left wrist, relax. Left arm from the wrist to the elbow, relax. Left arm from the elbow to the shoulder, relax. Left elbow, relax. Left shoulder, relax. Left armpit, relax. Right hand, thumb, relax. First finger, second, third. Little finger, relax. Right palm, relax. Right wrist, relax. Right arm from the wrist to the elbow, relax. Right elbow, relax. Right arm from the elbow to the shoulder, relax. Right shoulder, relax. Right armpit, relax. Whole left arm, relaxed. Feel that the arm is getting heavy, relaxed. Whole right arm, heavy, relaxed. Breathing normally. Back of the neck, relaxed. Front of the neck, relaxed. Back of the head, relaxed. Top of the head, relaxed. Right temple, relaxed. Left temple, relaxed. Right eyebrow, left eyebrow. Right eyelid, right eyeball, relax. Let it go, relax. Left eyelid, left eyeball, relax. The nose, relaxed. Right nostril, left nostril, relaxed. Upper lip, relaxed. Lower lip, relaxed. Tongue in the mouth, relax. Upper jaw, lower jaw, relaxed. Right cheek, relaxed. Left cheek, relaxed. Right ear, relax. left ear, relax, chin, relax, whole face, relax, whole lower body from the waist downwards, relax, whole upper body from the waist upwards, relax, breathing normally. Whole body relax, whole body relax. Breathing normally, gently direct the attention to the breath at the nostril. Breathing in, be aware of breathing in. Breathing out, be aware of breathing out. Don't control the breath. Long breath, short breath, it's all right. Aware of breathing. Relaxed. Whole body relaxed, heavy. Breathing in, aware of breathing in. Breathing out, aware of breathing out. Be aware the attention is at the nostrils. In breath, out breath. As you breathe in, count mentally 1. As you breathe out, count mentally 2. Like this, count up to 10. Breathing normally, relaxed. Direct the attention to the heart. Feel a warm, nourishing, golden light in the heart, radiating outwards, covering the whole body. Warm, nourishing, healing. Light in the heart. Breathing normally. The warm light in the heart, we will now descend into it. I will count from 1 to 10. As I count, you feel you're sinking deeper and deeper into the warm golden light in the heart. 1, descending. 2, 3, 4, descending into the heart, warm golden light, bathed in it. 5, 6, deeper. 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathing normally. It is so still and luminous. I'm deeply relaxed. Now listen Listen to sounds around us in the room. Just listen. Don't dwell on any sound. Notice the sounds arise in your awareness without doing anything, they just happen. Sounds outside the room, distant sounds, nearby sounds. Relaxed, listening. Relaxed, so still, listening to sounds. Notice how each sound arises of its own in this awareness, stays and plays around in this awareness, and disappears back into the awareness. Notice how the sound arises in me, the awareness, plays around in me, the awareness, and fades away into me, the awareness. Deeply relaxed, still, listening. How each sound arises, appears to the awareness, in me the awareness, exists in me the awareness, and fades away into me the awareness. Listen. Just as these sounds arise in me, the awareness, exist in me, the awareness, and fade away into me, the awareness, so also sights and forms, colors and shapes arise in me, the awareness, play around in me, the awareness, and fade away into me, the awareness. So also smells and taste and touch. All sensory experiences arise in me, the awareness, play around in me, the awareness, and disappear back into me, the awareness. I am relaxed, breathing normally, aware. Even thoughts and memories arise in me, the awareness, play around in me, the awareness, and disappear back into me, the awareness. Sensations, thoughts, emotions, all arise and play around in me and disappear. I am ever relaxed. As sounds are coming and going, and I am awareness, relaxed. When we shall open our eyes, similarly sights, colors and shapes will appear in awareness, play around in awareness, disappear back into awareness. Thoughts, memories, impulses, feelings will arise in awareness, play around in awareness, disappear back into awareness. All of our waking, our dreaming will appear, play around and disappear in awareness. I am ever relaxed, ever aware. Sometimes nothing will appear, and that will be deep sleep. I am the relaxed awareness, and that is life. I, the awareness, am the ground of the world experience. I am ever the same, ever relaxed. The world arises, plays around, and disappears in me. Breathing normally. Gently become aware of the body, sitting on the chair, the contact of the feet with the floor, pressure of your arms, different parts of the body. You're aware that we're surrounded by others. Breathing normally, relaxed. Soon we shall chant Om 3 times together, and then I'll invite you to open your eyes. When we do open our eyes, we will not suddenly look up. Just look down at our lap when we are ready, and then gently raise our gaze. Continue to maintain the relaxation, that I am the awareness in which all of this is appearing. The body, the sensations, colors and shapes, sounds, smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling. I am the same awareness, relaxed. When I will open my eyes, nothing will change. Just as I'm aware of sounds arising, playing around and disappearing, I'll just be aware of one more sensation of sight. It is the same thing, awareness and sensations arising, playing around and disappearing. Let us chant When you feel comfortable, open your eyes looking down at the lap, maintaining the same meditative awareness. This third part of the exercise is important, which we did at the end. This is the transition from meditation exercise to life. Life is nothing more than that. That you are this ever still shining awareness, and in you, just like those sounds arose, played around and disappeared. Similarly also, sight is forms and colors and shapes. Touch, smell, taste, arising in awareness, playing around, fading away. Actually without any effort on our part. So-called effort is also an arising in awareness. Awareness does not make any effort. Awareness just illumines and supports. So also the internal thoughts, sensations, perceptions, but also not only perceptions but also thoughts, emotions, impulses, desires, memories. They arise, they play around and disappear. If all of it disappears, it's just deep sleep. The absence of all of these is what we call deep sleep. Just the internal states, awareness of those is what we call dream. And on top of that, if you add a layer of perception, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, is what we call waking. That is the meaning of Om. In awareness, when you chant Om, the first part of Om, the is the waking. The second part of Om, the U, is the internal states of thoughts, emotions, memories, impulses. And the last part of Om, the that's the deep sleep, just the absence of everything. All of those three are appearing and disappearing to awareness, in awareness. It's important to notice that second stage of in awareness. Because the world appears to awareness is not difficult to grasp. Then we must move on to the fact, just notice how the sound, just take the simple case when you're relaxed and listening to a sound, notice that not only you're aware of the sound is actually in your awareness. It's entirely in your awareness. And it's only when my mind gives a layer of, oh, it is a bird, out there is a tree, and on the tree there is a bird, and it's making this, we have a sense of exteriority. But if you just attend to the awareness, the sound itself, then you will find it is arising in awareness. That sense should be maintained for sight and smell and taste and touch. Now we will chant the verses. Should we try to do it with the chanting? You can sing along? Yes. See if you can. It's very easy. It's a simple tune. and you have the text in your hand anyway. When we do the 257th verse, we will see the connection with this meditation. It's exactly this meditation. So let us start. Jnati niti kula gotra duragam nama rupa guna dosha varjitam desha kala vishayati vartiyad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani param sakalavaga gocharam vimala bodha chakshushaha shuddha chidghanamanadi vastuyad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani Shadbhirurmibhira yogi yogired bhavitam na karanair vibhavitam buddhya vidyamanavadyamastiyad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani Prantikalpita jagat kalashrayam swashrayam cha sadasadvilakshanam nishkalam nirupamanavadhiyad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani vriddhi parinatyapakshaya vyadhinashana vihinamavyayam vishvasrishti avavighata karanam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani sabhedamanapastalakshanam nistaranga jalarashi nischalam nityamuktam avibhaktamurtiyad brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani ekameva sadaneka karanam karanantara nirasya karanam karya karana vilakshanam swayam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani vikalpamanalpamaksharam yatsharaksara vilakshanam param nityamavyaya sukham niranjanam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani vibhati sadanekada brahma nama rupa guna vikriyatmana hemavat swayam avikriyam sada brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani chakastana paramparat param pratyagekarasamatmalakshanam satyachit sukhamanantamavyayam brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. So in these verses, 10 verses, Adi Shankaracharya has given us a practice for non-dual meditation. Each verse has 4 lines. In the last line, he says, you are that, Tattvamasi, Brahma Tattva. What is that? Brahman. What are we supposed to do with this? Bhavayatmani. Meditate upon this in your mind. How will you meditate upon this in your mind? In the first 3 lines, what is given in the first 3 lines, you have to meditate. Yes, it is thought, but you must meditate on what the thought is pointing to. It's already available. The thought is pointing to, as I said, piece of paper. The nose, must keep it real. Not some theoretical Brahman is limitless consciousness. All that sounds sort of vague and nice. No, directly, yes, must check. It's true. Now we have come to the 257th verse. Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam swashrayam cha sadasad vilakshanam nishkalam nirupamanavadhiyat brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. That which is the substratum of the universe and its various aspects, which are all due to delusion, which is its own support, which is other than the gross and the subtle, which has no parts and is truly incomparable, that Brahman thou art. Meditate on this in your mind. All right. This is directly related to the meditation which we just did. Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam. The world, this entire universe. This is, he says, kala means part, aspect, fraction. Now remember, he will deny it later. There is really no part or fraction of Brahman. But the world is described here as this tiny, inconsequential part of Brahman. It's not a part, it's not really a part. It's a part in what sense? If I say wood is the reality and the table is a part of the wood. Now, which part of the wood is the table? The wood is all throughout, top, bottom, everywhere, it is just wood. Is the top of it a table? Is the bottom of it a table? Is the side of it a table? No, none of it. But table appears. There is clearly a table. And we use the word table. And we use it as a table. So you can describe it as a part of the wood. An aspect of the wood. Similarly, the universe, the world is described here as an aspect of Brahman. As a part of Brahman. Where? Brahman is like this wood. Brahman is existence through and through. Is awareness or consciousness through and through. What is this world? It appears. It is experienced. It appears in Brahman. It is experienced in Brahman and it disappears back into Brahman. It means the world, every part of the world. How? Just like the sound appeared when you're relaxed, carefully listening, relaxed, sounds appeared. Various sounds appeared. The sound of the air conditioning here, or the fan here, the sound of a bird chirping in the distance, sound of small little sounds inside, outside. How did they appear? They appeared in you, the awareness. Are we getting a feel for what I'm saying? I'm aware, and in me, the awareness is an experience of a bird chirping. And I'm not even saying a bird chirping, the chirping sound. It arises in awareness for a couple of seconds and fades back into awareness. I am that awareness, ever relaxed. Like that, it's not just the sound of chirping. It's not just sound. It's also seeing. It's also touching. It's also smelling, tasting. All of these appear like that momentary sound of chirping. They all appear in you, the awareness. Even this body appears in you, the awareness. Body is if you close your eyes, the body is a mass of sensations. An ache here, a pain there, a warm feeling here, a cold feeling there, an itch there. This is the body, sensations. If you open your eyes, further details are added. Color and shape and all of these are added. If you touch it, different details come. But they are all like that momentary chirping sound arising in awareness. And through the body and the senses, we experience here. Space spread out before us. Time flowing. Objects appearing. People and others. And I, through my own body, I interact with them. All of these are like the chirping sound arising in awareness. Nothing more than that. So he says, Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam. Imagined in error. One has to carefully handle this. What does it mean, imagined in error? Did I imagine the sound in error? No. What is the error is that sound has something, it's something outside consciousness which penetrated into my consciousness and I experienced it in my consciousness. It exists by itself somewhere. That is the error. This Advaita denies. Apart from consciousness, apart from awareness, independently, separately standing apart from Atman or Brahman, there's nothing. But we feel there is. We feel that there is a world outside me. That's because of the deep body rootedness. Certainly, outside the body, there is certainly a world. But the body itself is a mass of sensations in awareness. From the perspective of awareness, there is nothing, there can be nothing outside. What proof is there of anything outside awareness? There's something that philosophers have struggled with for centuries. They call it the standing scandal of philosophy. That in our realistic, materialistic world, yet we cannot get out of the idealistic paradigm. It's very difficult to prove anything apart from consciousness, but because technically all proof is done by consciousness, in consciousness. So, the idea that there is a world, a vast world, and I am a tiny part of it, and I live in this vast world. I have come into it and I shall disappear, the world will continue. Utterly wrong. You will continue. The world has appeared and the world will disappear, like that little chirping sound. I am in a little part of the world. No. The world is a little part of you, like that chirping sound in your awareness. The world gives me existence. After all, without food and air and water, without the material body, how would I exist? No. You give the world existence. Like the chirping sound was actually given existence by your consciousness. This is the reversal. Dramatic reversal, which is we are being asked to do. Bhranti kalpita. The error is not in seeing the world. Error is not in hearing the sound. The error is in thinking that it has an existence apart from you, the awareness. Yes. This one has to be a microphone because it's part of this regular session.
So a distant chirp.
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Closer. Yeah, closer.
A distant chirp is somewhat easy to imagine as arising and falling because
Yes.
it is technically distant. When we open our eyes, the visual stimulus is so intense. It's hard to think that it's arising and falling because it seems to be coming from outside. How do we extrapolate or bring that initial to this?
It is, in principle, it's not anything distant, anything different. When you see a distant chirp,
Yes.
even the distance and the nearness, that's also arising in consciousness.
True.
That story I've mentioned earlier, when the teacher says that, I can switch it off. When the teacher says that you're all pervading consciousness, and somebody in the back of the hall said, wait a minute, how can I be all pervading? I am here, I am not even there. You are there, you are not even here. How are we all pervading consciousness? And then the teacher said, but here and there, are they not both in you, the awareness? Yahan aur wahan, kya dono hi aap mein nahi hai? You have to change your thinking that way. This intensity of this overwhelming visual experience. Pain, for example. There can be a minor pain, you can think of it as an arising in consciousness, like a bird chirping. But if it's an overwhelming pain, it's an arising in consciousness, no. That's why the doctor will ask you on a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, the 1 or 2 is, yes, it's a non-dual pain arising in limitless consciousness. If it is 9 or 10, oh, it hurts, give me some painkiller. But intensity, the interesting thing is, listen, the intensity is also yours. It does not belong to the world. The whole power, what is powering this intensity? The intensity is a power. That power is you. It's borrowing power from you and throwing it back at you. In a calm, meditative state, when you gently open your eyes and look at the world, it will not overwhelm you. You see the awareness of the sensations of the body. And then in a stillness, you look out into the world like a picture set out, especially here in Ridgely. It will not overwhelm you. It's a picture. This is a sensation without evoking any emotional response in you. Relax. Intensity is, philosophically, logically, intensity is not a reason for reality. We can have the most intense nightmares, utterly unreal. We can have the dullest day out here and we can say this is real and the intense nightmare is unreal. So intensity is not a cause. Just do that in the midst of the most intense experience. Just settle down, breathe in and out, count to 10, relax, and notice, isn't this intensity, the pain or the emotional struggle, even more difficult than visual stimulus is an inner upset turmoil, very difficult to handle. That also is an arising, like a bird chirping in consciousness. Notice, it is all temporary. It appears and disappears. Hold on, let me finish this. Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam. Ashrayam is the important word. Ashrayam is the refuge, is the ground. What is the ground or the refuge of that chirping? That experience of the chirping sound? What is the ground? What is the refuge? You. You, the awareness. It appeared in you. Don't say it's the nest or the tree far away where the bird is sitting. That's not the ground of that. The ashraya. Table is the ashraya of the glass of water. The table. The chair is my ashraya when I'm sitting here on the chair. What is the ashraya of the sound experience? Awareness. This is what is the ashraya of the world experience? You, the awareness. The world experience is an appearance in awareness just as much as that little sound, bird sound, was in awareness. Nothing else. It is because we take a part of this world, the world appearance, a part of it, body, mind, and we take it intimately, hug it as ourselves. That also will be all right, but then we forget that we are awareness. Instead of body appearing in awareness, we say, I am a body with awareness. I don't deny I have awareness, but I am a body with awareness. Then samsara starts. Because if you are a body, there are other bodies also around here. And then there is a whole physical universe. And then there is a social, mental universe, emotional universe. You are plunged into it. Samsara will start. The way out is, first shut it out in a quiet environment, still body, calm the mind, then go into a meditative process, center in awareness, and then look back at a minimal stimulus, like a bird chirping. Notice what it is. Then expand outwards to the 5 sensory stimuli. Then include the internal states of thought and emotion and memory. Then go out into the world, being embodied in that body, but knowing all the while that you are this awareness. You will see. Bhranti kalpita jagat kalashrayam. Ashrayam, you are the ashraya. I am the ground. The awareness is the ground of the world display. In this, ignorance of this awareness is called bondage. Knowledge of this awareness, and continue with the world display. Knowledge of this awareness, realization of this underlying awareness, the true nature of this awareness. Continue with the world display. Continue with the life. It is called freedom. Freedom. The Tibetan Buddhists, very beautiful phrase, I like it. It says, samsara and nirvana as a magical display on the primordial ground of being. This primordial ground of being, if you're not aware of it, it's samsara for you. This primordial ground of being, you, this awareness, if you're aware of it, It is nirvana for you. This one itself. That's why Nagarjuna said paradoxically, there is no difference between nirvana and samsara. That is shocking for a Buddhist. Because the Buddhist, the whole project is to go from samsara to nirvana. But it is here, right here. I am this limitless shining awareness. So I sort of understand what you mean by awareness. I am aware. But how is it limitless? How is it shining? I don't feel very shiny at all. See, it's a cloudy day. It's a cloudy day. How is it shining? Yes, it is shining. It is shining as sight and smell and taste and touch and joy and sorrow, pleasure and pain. This is the shining nature of consciousness. All these experiences are consciousness shining. Hold on. Don't forget your questions. Let me finish this verse. So, you are the ground of the world appearance. Ashraya. Alright, what is the ground of consciousness then? This is a philosophical way of putting the old question. God is the creator of the universe. Well, who is the creator of God then? The answer, Swashrayam cha. It has no further ground. It is the ground. The buck stops here. So, this is the ground of the whole universe. But the ground is not an object out there. It is you. Swashrayam cha. What is the nature of this ground? Sadasad vilakshanam. Sadasad vilakshanam. Now this word, if you don't know Vedanta, it's fine. If you know Vedanta, it is a bombshell. Because it can shatter Vedanta from inside if it's not properly understood. Sadasad vilakshanam means false. Here, literally, you're describing Brahman as false, so the ground as false. No. So it has a different meaning. Let me give a little background to this Sadasad vilakshanam. Sat means existence. Asad means non-existence. Vilakshanam means other than. In Vedanta, because Vedanta holds the world to be false, mithya, an appearance. So the opponents of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, ask us to define, what do you mean by false? What do you mean? Why? Why is the world false? I remember we had a very formidable teacher, Professor Parimal Patil, intellectually formidable. And you know Professor Jeffrey Long, who comes regularly to speak. So he was his classmate at Chicago, and they were all in awe of this Professor Parimal Patil. Parimal Patil is teaching at Harvard now. So the thing is, he had this. It seems this is an anecdote I heard. He had this tendency of fixing you with a stare and asking why, whatever you say, why. So his classmates decided to play a prank on him. The next day in the morning, as they came to class, and he said to all of them, "Good morning." And they looked at him and stared and said, "Why?" So, why is the world false? Why? What is falsity? Please define. So the Advaitins have some 5 definitions of falsity. One of them is this: Sadasad vilakshanatvam mithyatvam. That which is neither the truth, neither existence nor non-existence. That is false. That which is neither existence nor non-existence. That is false. It's not ultimately real, but it's not nothing either. The way to understand this is straightforward. A lie. When we tell a lie is not the truth. So there's somebody who speaks the truth, there's somebody who keeps silent, and somebody who tells a lie. So the one who speaks the truth, that's true. That's truth. One who speaks silent, one who remains silent, he's not said anything at all. That's like non-existence. The one who told a lie did say something, but it's not as reality is, not according to reality. That's why we call it a lie. We call it false. So falsity is something other than reality, other than existence, other than non-existence. Existence is like the truth. Non-existence is like keeping quiet. But falsity is like talking, but telling a lie. So now you understand the definition. Sadasad vilakshanam. That's one of the definitions. given by post-Shankara Advaitins. There are multiple, wonderful definitions, very subtle definitions of falsity. And look at this. This is what we use in day-to-day life. Harry Potter. Is it nothing? No, of course not. It's a billion-dollar industry of books and movies and stuff. It's something. Critics, and there are actors. There is a whole Harry Potter universe. I think there are Harry Potter theme parks and so on and so forth. So it's not nothing. But is Harry Potter real? Have you ever met Harry Potter? No. Can you meet Harry Potter? No. You can meet somebody dressed up as Harry Potter. So Harry Potter is a lie. That's not how we describe it. We describe it as fiction. Is fiction nothing? Of course not. It's a very valuable part of our civilization. But is it real? No, the definition of fiction is it's not real. So, sadasad vilakshanam. Fiction is sadasad vilakshanam. Not ultimately real, but not utterly unreal either. In between. Why in between? It doesn't exist, and yet you can experience it. It has no existence of its own, from its own side, as the Tibetan Buddhists would say. It has no existence from its own side. But yet you experience it. As if it exists. Why does it seem to exist? It borrows your existence. It's like a consultant. The definition of a consultant who will see, who will look at your watch and tell you the time. So it borrows existence from you, and then Vivekananda said this: the world is neither real nor unreal. We breathe life into it, and then we run towards it or run away from it. It either tempts us or scares us. It is dead in itself. Dead in itself means it has no existence, no stuff in it by itself. The chirping you heard, the little bird must be thinking, why pick on me all the time? The chirping you heard, it was stuffed full of consciousness, not feathers. The chirping you, just focus on it, you'll see. It sounded like a bird song to you, but it's in awareness, nothing but awareness. It's dressed up as bird song. Sadasad vilakshanam. But this will not do here. If you apply what I just said, that's the end of Vedanta. Because you will immediately, we are talking about consciousness here, we're talking about Brahman. If Brahman is sadasad vilakshanam, not ultimately real, not utterly unreal, then it becomes fiction. So what is the meaning of sadasad vilakshanam here? So here you will see the translation. The sadasad vilakshanam is not the gross, not the subtle. Sat means that which is most physical, most evident. Body is sat, gross, physical. Chair, this world, physical, that is called sat. Why? In a very commonsensical way. This seems real to us. And asat means unreal in the sense of subtle. That which is there but it's not physically manifest. Like mind, like a dream. So subtle, within ourselves, as first person experiences. Not physically present, but but subtly experienced. So the difference between physical body and subtle body. Physical body would be called sat here, subtle body would be called asat here. Sadasad vilakshanam. Both the sat and the asat, the physical and the subtle, appear to you, the consciousness. But you, the consciousness, are different from the physical and the subtle. Causal is not meant here. So remember, it's a loaded term. For those who are educated in Vedanta, they'll be in trouble. They'll say, what's this? Sadasad vilakshanam. This is the exact definition of falsity. But you are applying to Brahman. So here it means not apart from the ultimate real, not apart from the unreal. Here it means apart from the physical and the subtle. Which Brahman is, no doubt. Which consciousness is. Nishkalam. Partless. Now notice. It says the world is a part of Brahman. Jagat Kala. The world is a part or an aspect of Brahman. And now it says Brahman has no parts or aspects. Why? It is homogeneous. Every bit of it is, there's no every there. There's just one thing without a second. Just awareness. A part means it should have some components. So part of it will be the world and part of it will be not the world. No. So it is when the word part is used in the Upanishads or in the Vedas, it is used figuratively. In one of the hymns, Vedic hymns, it says that ultimate being, a quarter of it became the manifest universe and 3/4 remained transcendent. But doesn't actually mean 1/4 and 3/4. There are no parts to it. It just means the manifested universe is just insignificant compared to the unmanifest, the Brahman as such. It's like this. If I say, in me the awareness, a bird chirped, I heard the chirping sound. If I call the chirping sound an infinitesimal part of your awareness, in that sense, it's not really a part of your awareness. It appeared in your awareness. At no point is it a part. If it was a part of your awareness, it would always be there. So, sadasad vilaksham, nishkalam, without any part. So when you speak about Jagat Kala, the universe as a part of awareness, and then say the awareness or consciousness is partless, in that case the world which appeared as a part of awareness must be a false world. Therefore he says, Bhranti, error. In error, we think there is a world out there. There isn't. So there is a world in here? No. There is an appearance of a world in you. What is that which is appearing as a world? You, the awareness. You don't appear. Reality does not appear. Bradley, yesterday we mentioned, reality does not appear, and what appears is not real. What appeared was the bird song. Consciousness never appeared. What is real is consciousness. What is unreal is the bird song. But the bird song was experienced. Nishkalam, nirupamana vadhiyat. Nirupamana means Nirupam, we say. It's a name in India. Without any metaphor, without any incomparable. There is nothing you can compare. I know we always use endless analogies, metaphors for Brahman, but they're all imperfect. Water and waves, clay and pot, wood and table, light, dream, they're all imperfect. They only are meant to be used just to help us to grasp what is being taught. Don't take them too seriously, because that ultimate reality has no metaphor. Nirupamana. In Islam, they make a big deal out of this. Anybody who says that there is something like Allah is accused of heresy, kufr. It's a great crime. And there's a deep truth in that. You're making a huge mistake by saying that something is like God. It isn't. But of course, you need not be fanatical and go around killing people for it. You've made a metaphysical error. Off with your head. Not necessary. But the point is taken. The point is an important point. This is nirupama vadhiyat. Nirupama vad. That means it has no metaphor, no analogy. Nothing is comparable to. And yet, how will we know it? It's you. You know yourself. What is all this? That is Brahman. One. Brahman is a ground on which by error samsara is imagined. And when you correct the error, nirvana is imagined. It's the ground. What's the ground of Brahman? There's no ground of Brahman. It is the primordial being. It's primordial means it's the original ground. And it is apart, it's not a physical thing. It's other than the physical. It's other than the subtle. Sadasad Vilakshana, Brahman. And it is partless. Brahman is just Brahman through and through. Sri Ramakrishna gave the example, the ocean, the salt ocean. You taste the water of the ocean, everywhere it's salty. What it means is a profound example. It says what it means the enlightened one, when the enlightened one tests or tastes the world, it is Brahman everywhere. Brahman is the salt. Nowhere the salt is seen in the water, in the ocean, but you can immediately detect it when you put it on your tongue. Anywhere in the ocean. Similarly, this whole universe is pervaded, like ocean with salt, this whole universe is pervaded by Brahman. For the enlightened one, the universe is salty, is seeded with Brahman everywhere. Now you must apply the same thing to consciousness. Consciousness is the ground in which the universe appears, just like the bird chirping. And there is no ground of consciousness. Consciousness is its own ground. Notice, if there were a ground of consciousness, what would happen? That ground would be an object to consciousness then, if it's other than consciousness. It would be something in consciousness, not something in which consciousness is there. And consciousness is apart from the physical and the subtle. Very easy to see. It's apart from, or the physical is something apart from the consciousness. Or consciousness is apart from the physical. And consciousness is apart from the subtle, what you are thinking about, feeling. Consciousness is partless. Try to find out parts of consciousness, you can't. What about waking, dreaming, sleeping? The waking, dreaming and sleeping are parts of the mind, or are activities of the mind, not of consciousness. Nirupaman, what is the analogy, example, metaphor for consciousness? Can't find anything. Why there is no metaphor or example or analogy for Brahman? Two reasons. One is the non-dual reason. Because Brahman is the only thing, what else is there which will serve as an analogy for Brahman? It stands by itself. And the second reason is, from a devotional perspective, Saguna Brahman, Ishvara, God, is so infinitely great, so maximally great, nothing can serve as an example for it. So in two senses. So consciousness has no example, no metaphor for it. That consciousness you are. Then apply it once again. Apply it to yourself. First apply it to Brahman, apply it to consciousness, now apply it to yourself. I am the ground in which the world is experienced by mistake, as an error, as a separate reality. But what is the separate reality? I am experiencing the world, error. I am that limitless awareness in which the world arises and is experienced, that's correct. I am the ground. What is my ground? In error, it will seem my ground is this universe. This universe provides me with food, air, water, shelter, society. It provides me with this body, so I'm grounded in this universe. That's the common sense approach. It's the other way around. It says, Swashrayam, you are grounded in yourself. The universe is grounded in you. Sadasad vilakshanam. I am not physical, I am not subtle. Therefore, I am not the body, I am not the mind. I am not the body, I am not the mind. Nishkalam, I have no parts. See how immediately our mind will resist it. No, I have so many parts. I have hands and legs and feet, and I have thoughts and emotions, I have memories, I have achievements to my credit, I have my complaints and demands and likes and dislikes. All of this, these are my parts, physical and subtle and historical. None of them are your parts. You are partless because you are awareness. Tattvamasi, you are that. Now what do? Think in this way, contemplate in this way in your mind. Bhavaya Atmani. Should we do Q&A now? Yeah. Please come. You have to come here.
To say that it all gets its reality from our consciousness sounds dangerously close, and it's unreal in itself, sounds dangerously close to subjective idealism. And it's hard to make the distinction. Now, when you make the analogy with the fiction, then who's the writer of this fiction? It has its fictional reality rather than a true reality, but there's still that fictional reality to contend with. Can you elaborate where the fictional reality emerges from?
First of all, is it close to subjective idealism? Is it close to subjective idealism? Subjective idealism is, in the Berkeleyan sense, so George Berkeley, Bishop Berkeley, he was he Irish or Scottish? Irish. I think he was an Irish clergyman. And he was a great philosopher who said, the world exists in the mind. Why would you say there's an external world? Just like we have dreams, we experience the waking world also. Somebody challenged him that, so the tree in the quad, that means in the university quadrangle, when Berkeley is looking at it, it exists. And when Berkeley doesn't look at it, the tree disappears. And Berkeley said, my dear sir, the tree exists because it exists in the mind of God, and God is always looking. So it will always be there. But it still means it's in the mind. So that's subjective idealism. When you say the world is an appearance in consciousness, isn't this subjective idealism? No, it isn't. There's a big difference. So this was challenged by Kant. Berkeley was challenged by Kant. It's not in the mind. The world is not a reality outside, nor is it entirely in the mind. Kant's insight was, we have a framework through which we perceive the world. So whatever we perceive is the world plus our mind. It's not that there's no reality outside, there is. But what we are perceiving is not the real. What we are perceiving is our mind, with an impulse from the world. Vivekananda put it this way, the world gives us an impulse, and the mind throws a shell around it. And that's what we perceive. Exactly agreeing with Kant. That's why Shankara criticized the subjective idealists. The Buddhists were subjective idealists. There's a school called Yogachara Vijnanavada, also known as Chitta Matra, mind-only school. They are subjective idealists. And maybe nearly 1,000 years before Berkeley. And they had a huge fight with the realists, which were the Hindu dualistic schools, Nyaya school. So the Nyaya were realists in the sense there is a real world out there. And we are apart from it. And we are using our mind and senses to contact this real world. Like common sense realism, or also what is known as critical realism or representative realism. So they had a big fight with the Buddhist idealists. Shankara, he was accused by the dualists of, what you are saying is very much like the Buddhist idealist, subjective idealist. So Shankara says, no, I am not saying that the world is an appearance in the mind. What I am saying is the world and the mind are both appearances in consciousness. Sounds pretty close, but it isn't. What characterizes the world and the mind? Both are characterized by this. They are both objects to consciousness. You, the Buddhists, or you, O Berkeley, you are saying one object appears in the other object. This gross object appears in the subtle object and has no existence apart from the subtle object. What I am saying is, this one consciousness appears as the gross and the subtle. It appears as the object and the subject. It appears, in Vivekananda's words, as nature and soul. One only exists. It appears as nature, soul, in Song of the Sannyasi. So this is how it is different from subjective idealism. That's why some philosophers are surprised when Shankaracharya criticizes the Buddhist subjective idealists, because see, the arguments which the Buddhist subjective idealists use would be useful for Shankara. Why is he criticizing them? It's like criticizing allies or friends. Why? Because he wants to distinguish, he wants us not to make that mistake. There is an old fight, mind or matter. Philosophy class, when you enter, the first joke you will hear, what is matter? Never mind. What is mind? No matter. No. Both mind and matter, according to Shankara or Advaita Vedanta, are appearances in consciousness. Exactly what we read. Sadasad vilakshanam. Sad means out there, physical, real. Asat means the mind here. But consciousness is apart from both of them. The attempt to reduce the world to the mind, or the mind to the world. The materialist tries to reduce the mind to the world. The materialist approach is, somehow I must explain the mind in terms of the brain. Both are doomed to failure.
Consciousness is not apart from them. Consciousness is through them.
Yes, but consciousness is apart from them. We just read, sadasad vilakshanam, apart from body, apart from mind. Understand the difference between these two. Consciousness is apart from body-mind, but body-mind are not apart from consciousness. If you say consciousness is apart from body-mind and body-mind are apart from consciousness, then you get a thoroughgoing dualism, Sankhya. But in Vedanta, consciousness is apart from body-mind because it's the reality. And body, mind, universe appear in consciousness. They are not apart from consciousness.
But didn't we say that the wood pervades the table?
Yes.
So isn't that the same?
Consciousness pervades the
Body, mind.
mind. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So
True.
it does, it's not. It
But
just-
what's the first thing you said?
it-
Consciousness is not apart from them. Consciousness. Isn't the wood apart from the table? You say, no, the wood is part of the table. No, it isn't. Can the wood exist without the table?
Yes.
Yes. Therefore, the wood is not in and through the table. If the wood was something in and through the table, the moment you destroy the table, the wood would be gone also. The wood exists by itself. The table exists in the wood. You exist by yourself. The bird song exists in you or appears in you.
Correct.
You are apart from the bird song. The bird now what our common sense is, the bird song is also apart from you. But Vedanta is saying the bird song is not apart from you. You are apart from the world, but the world is not apart from you. The world is a part of you, and then we'll go further and say you have no parts.
But who's the author of the...
Who is the author of the fiction? So now there are two ways of putting it. One is to deny there is an author at all. It's the very nature of consciousness to appear as bird song. Or if you really demand an author, then say consciousness dresses up in His Majesty or Her Majesty in the finery of the wonderful clothes called Maya, and that makes consciousness itself the author. But you say, but I am consciousness. I don't feel I am doing all of this. No, you are not. But it is you dressed up in Maya who is the Lord and God and creator and preserver of this universe, who is the author of this universe. So if you ask, who is doing all this? I understand it's a movie, but who is the director of the movie? Who is behind the movie? If you really want to know that. Advaita Vedanta says don't ask that question. It's not a meaningful question. It's only consciousness shining. But if you really want to know it, then the answer will be God. Then you bring in theistic religion. The problem with that is, what Advaita wants us to do is look at the reality itself. We are so fascinated by the objects, it's very difficult to tear us away from the world of objects. The objects are appearing, the bird song is appearing in me. The whole attempt of Advaita, it's a subtle attempt to turn our attention away from the bird song to you, the awareness. So we do that, we follow Advaita, but halfway through ask, but who did the bird song? Again you are back there. Take your attention away. Settle down in the reality. First of all, settle in reality before you ask questions about dreams, about fantasies. Our real concern, why we do that is, there is a seed in us which says that that's real. I, the consciousness, may be a delusion, but that bird song is real. This is called madness. It's insanity. It's like, table is real, but I will not accept the wood. There's no such thing as the wood. And even if I accept, it sounds like theory. But tell me, who made the table? If you do, good. Then you have to accept the God of the universe. Who, by the way, does nothing. What real thing has this God done?
Created a movie.
Out of what?
Consciousness.
Out of you. Out of you. There is not even an iota of reality that God has contributed to the world. Created a dream, a fantasy of threads has woven in dreams, in you, the consciousness. Every bit of that movie, every bit of that fantasy is you, not God.
But a dream has a certain reality.
Yeah. As long as and that certain reality is your reality. Keep the reality of the dream and wake up from the dream, it will not exist. Will 1% of the dream exist when you wake up? No. Nothing. Will an outline of the dream exist when you wake up? Nothing. Yeah. This is a thoroughgoing non-dualism. Yeah. Yes, please come, and I'll come to you.
Okay. When we're thinking of ourselves as pure awareness and that meditation and concentrating on that, and it's one thing to hear the lovely birds out in the country, and to see those as coming into our awareness, playing around, and dissolving into our awareness. And we are that pure awareness. However, it just occurs to me that the duty, like the midday scorching sun, that's a little harder and more difficult for us to just allow to come into our awareness, play around, and dissolve, because it's going to be there the next day. And so it again, and I think I asked something about this yesterday, it seems to me that the repeated effort, not unlike the Raja Yoga path, of attempting to identify only with our pure awareness, and doing that even in the midst of our most difficult trials, and we still try to bring that awareness, would eventually, through grace or just through the laws of nature, and even Sri Ramakrishna says that pure Atman and pure mind are one and the same. So it is a mental effort, but isn't that mentality really in its higher aspect one with the Atman? And then eventually wouldn't that become more of a, it's not like this would just disappear, it's unreal, it would just stand revealed in its true nature. Wouldn't that be a better, or one way we could go about looking at it? Or how are we supposed to deal with the duties that we face every day? And some people face some really terrible things. And it's not just being in the country with things rising up in the mind and then, playing around and gently falling away. But they demand of us to take an ego presence and to deal with it on a realistic level. And how are we to eventually come to a realization in all matters of life, like we're told in the Gita, that the stita pragya is one in all, no matter what happens, is able to be same-sided.
Short answer to your question is yes.
What is the question from you?
Well, it kind of...
So, my only advice would be what we did today, that this awareness, as you said. Notice I was listening very carefully to what you said. You said, we're supposed to think of ourselves as this pure awareness. No, we're not supposed to think of ourselves as pure awareness. We're supposed to notice that pure awareness. It's already there. We don't think of ourselves as bodies. We feel we are bodies. Like that, we have to feel that we are pure awareness. We have to see that it is true. And that exercise was meant to ease our way into that recognition. And then, about the third part of the exercise was, remember, taking it out into life. Turning up the volume of life. Where not just bird song, but also sights, also people, colors and shapes, also touch and taste, pains and aches. And then take it to thoughts, ideas, duty, memory, actions. Krishna insists that this state can be, this state of equipoise in awareness, can be maintained in the middle of intense action. That's what we chant every day. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi, Brahmagno Brahmanahutam, Brahmevate Nagantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. We chant it before eating. But what does it mean? The spoon, Brahmarpanam, it is consciousness. It's not a spoon. I'm translating exactly from Shankara. It's not a spoon, it's consciousness. It's not the offering, Brahmavi, but it is consciousness. It's not a fire, it is consciousness. It is consciousness who offers with that spoon. And the one who sees this consciousness in and through every action attains to consciousness. Attains means you realize you are that. In fact, Vedanta will say an excellent way of practicing this is in the middle of difficult duties. If you can do it there, you can do it anywhere. That's why Krishna told Arjuna to do this in the middle of the battlefield, the worst. So you recognize it. How do you start? Start in a small way. I would say, like when you cook, you add a little salt and taste it, it's all right or not. Add a little Brahman to it, this word. Whatever you're doing. Yes, this is appearing in awareness. That's all. And then go on, see, life will be that much easier and better. The tough duties will be that much sweeter and more relaxing. Ashtavakra sings, Yadi deham prithak kritya chiti vishramya tishtasi adhunaiva sukhi shanto bandha mukto bhavishyasi. Simple. If you just set the body aside and rest in awareness. Adhunaiva, right now, by that alone, by that one step alone, right now, Sukhi, you'll be happy. Shanta, you'll be peaceful. Bandha mukta, you'll be free of bondage. Just that much. Notice that I am aware. Notice it. Don't think I'm awareness. Notice I'm awareness and the world is bird song. Then go ahead into the world. Listen to the bird song. That can be, if you turn up the volume, Krishna says, fight the battle of life. These are all aids to living, not to help you to withdraw from living. One more question, I think. Yes, please come.
So, Swamiji, the objects appear in you, the consciousness to you, and the last one is they're nothing but you, right? So I was thinking of some analogies again, just wanted to see if it makes sense. So I was thinking both the object and consciousness must have something in common. That's why one is being experienced and consciousness is experienced in the object. So it's similar to like when we see something, the scene is reflecting the light and the eye is processing the light. So the light is common. That's why, that's what's common between the eye and the seen object. And similar to that, the sounds, right? Something like the bird is producing the sound waves and the ears have the ability to receive and experience the waves. And same thing with taste, touch, and even the mind, right? Like thoughts, emotions, they are also made of mind only. That's why we experience them in the mind. So is it similar in the same way, right? Objects are also consciousness. That's why consciousness is able to experience the objects.
You're right in principle. In fact, the Vedantic theory of sensory perception, something that I have not touched upon, but it's there in various Vedanta books, is the sense organ and the sense object are made of similar stuff. That's the idea. And so the shapes which we see and the organ of vision, there's something similar, some principle similar. That's why they are able to see sound, smell, taste, touch. In the case of consciousness and its objects, what is similar is exactly what we discussed last night. How is consciousness able to experience objects? How is the self able to experience the not self? How is the subject able to experience objects? The only way, they are utterly different, they are not similar, they are utterly different. The only way possible is adhyasa, superimposition. It must be that the object being experienced in consciousness is none other than consciousness, appearing to be different. The bird song is none other than you, appearing to be bird song. In the dream, we see people, birds, big lawn and trees and sky and cars. All of it is seen in the mind. But there are no cars and trees and people in the mind. What's there in the mind? Mind. So those cars, people, trees and all which are seen in the dream must be the mind only. And as a matter of fact, we know when we wake up, we do realize it was our own mind which appeared to us as the dream world and its inhabitants. Similarly here, it's the universe appearing. But when we say consciousness, remember, I don't mean this empirical consciousness, this awareness right now which we have. This is already consciousness. This is already the light which has gone through the stained glass window. This is already consciousness scattered in the mind and in the senses. This is what we are experiencing right now. Trace it back to the I am, from the I am back to the source which cannot be objectified at all, which is you. That consciousness is appearing to itself as the universe. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Rupanamastu.